Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Chapter 6, market conditions. Page 16, check your understanding. This quiz has a total of 3 questions. There will be 1 question per page. You must achieve 66% to pass this quiz. Start quiz. Number 1. Your research of a comparable sale reveals that the purchase price was $200,000, but the purchaser realized the property needed extensive repairs to the mechanical systems. The estimated cost to cure the problems was $15,000, but the actual cost turned out to be $20,000. What should you do? A. Adjust the property sale by $20,000. B. Adjust the property sale price by $15,000. C. Make no adjustment. Or D. Adjust the property sale price by $5,000, the amount of the excess cost. I'm going to go B. Adjust the property sale price by $15,000. Number 2. Market condition adjustments are also commonly known as A. Time adjustments. B. Clock adjustments. C. Conditions of sale adjustments. Or D. Value of duration adjustments. I'm going to go A. Time adjustments. And lastly, number 3. The definition of arm's length is a transaction between blank parties acting in their own blank interests. A. Dispassionate and best. B. Affiliated and particular. C. Unrelated and best. Or D. Disconnected and biased. I'm going to go C. Unrelated and best. Assessment completed. Finish. You passed. You got 100%. So remember, your research of a comparable sale reveals that the purchase price was $200,000, but the purchaser realized the property needed extensive repairs to the mechanical systems. The estimated cost to cure the problems was $15,000, but the actual cost turned out to be $20,000. What should you do? You said adjust the property sale price by $15,000, and that was correct. Number 2, market condition adjustments are also commonly known as, you said, time adjustments, and that is correct. Number 3, the definition of an arm's length is a transaction between blank parties acting in their own blank interests. You said unrelated and best, and that is correct. Continue.
Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Help. Documents. Email instructor. CH6 market conditions. PG17 market conditions. Notes. Leave a comment. Market conditions. But what if the comparable sold right before a hurricane came through the region and destroyed much of the housing stock? Clearly, values will have changed after the natural disaster. Or perhaps the comparable sold before the city's main employer announced a factory closure. Prices will no doubt have dropped since the announcement. You must take all factors like these into account. Changes in a real estate market may be cyclical rising and falling with the fates of the local industries, aerospace, defense, etc., that go through big hiring phases followed by layoffs. One time only related to an event, either good or bad, which is unlikely to reoccur. Seasonal in a resort town, real estate purchases may occur within a narrow 3-month window of opportunity. Exponential, continuously increasing at a rapid rate, such as was experienced between 2002 and 2006 in the fast-growing parts of California, Nevada, or Florida. End of page. Chapter start. 37%. Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Help. Documents. Email instructor. CH6 market conditions. PG18 life cycle of a market area. Notes. Leave a comment. Life cycle of a market area. Market areas typically go through 4 distinct phases. Growth, lots of new construction and development activity, speedy sales, increasing prices, a seller's market. Stability, slowing down of new construction, prices remain steady and high, excitement is cooling. Decline, prices start to fall, new construction halts, more existing homes flood the market, creating a buyer's market. Revitalization, prices have bottomed, sales stagnate, and hopefully the area receives new interest and renewal. A handout on market conditions and market area life cycles can be downloaded here. End of page. Chapter start. 37%. Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Help. Documents. Email instructor. CH6 market conditions. PG19 life cycle of a market area. Notes. Leave a comment. Life cycle of a market area. The graph above shows a nice, neat pattern, but not all market areas follow the stages shown above. Some have not reached a plateau yet. Others fall into a slump, and then take off again like wildfire. Not all market areas wind up with a revitalization stage. They just die out and fall victim to raising or some form of urban renewal. End of page. Chapter start. 37%.
Market cycles can be either long-term, typically based on trends in population growth and income levels, or short-term, based on the availability of mortgages and the prevailing interest rate. Long-term cycles are usually caused by national or even international changes, such as opportunities for outsourcing local jobs or unemployment trends. If the population is growing and people have more money, real estate demand will climb. In an area with little population growth or a loss of population to other regions, added to high unemployment rates, demand will drop. A case in point comes by looking at American history. In the Great Depression of the 1930s, Americans lacked both jobs and money. Many lost their homes to foreclosure. Few houses were built. Similarly, during World War II, men were overseas and women struggled to hold families together and make ends meet. Little income was available for home construction. But when the soldiers came home, they found new jobs in a peacetime economy, married, and started having children. They were able to buy homes thanks to generous government loans at low interest rates. Real estate demand that had remained pent up for decades suddenly exploded. New suburbs sprung up all over the country. With immigration, a relatively healthy economy, and maturation of the baby boomers, The real estate market has remained strong in most parts of the nation for the past few decades.
Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Help. Documents. Email instructor. CH6 market conditions. PG21 long-term cycles. Notes. Leave a comment. Long-term cycles. Some national trends have contributed to the long-term decline of values in a particular area. During the Depression years, Dust Bowl states experienced a huge exodus as people left farms that were no longer productive. In more recent years, Rust Belt cities have had a difficult time attracting buyers to decaying inner-city cores. Agricultural areas have seen population levels drop as agribusiness replaces the family farm, and young people leave for jobs in urban centers. Other areas have witnessed unabated growth due to continuous immigration, healthy employment, and/or an influx of retired residents. A good example is San Diego, with a sunny climate, good jobs, and close proximity to the Mexican border. Parts of Arizona and Florida have boomed, too, due to affordable house prices and weather that attracts retirees. End of page. Chapter start. 37%.
Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Chapter 6, Market Conditions, page 22, check your understanding. This quiz has a total of 3 questions. There will be 1 question per page. You must achieve 66% to pass this quiz. Start quiz. Number 1. The life cycle of a market area typically includes the stages of growth, blank, decline, and blank. A. Stability and destruction. B. Plateau and stagnation. C. Urbanization and rehabilitation. Or D. Stability and revitalization. I'm going to go D. Stability and revitalization. Number 2. Changes in a market cycle may be cyclical, one time only, blank and blank. A. Recurring and exponential. B. Repeating and inverse. C. Seasonal and exponential. Or D. Seasonal and geometric. I don't remember this one. I'm going to guess A. Recurring and exponential. And lastly, number 3. Long-term market cycles are blank. Long-term market cycles are A. Based on the prevailing interest rate. B. Always rapidly fluctuating and notoriously unstable. C. Caused by national or international conditions. Or D. Of little interest to an appraiser. It's either A or C, but I'm going to go A, based on the prevailing interest rate. Finish. You failed. You got a 33%. So remember, Number one, the life cycle of a market area typically includes the stages of growth, blank, decline, and blank. You said stability and revitalization, and that is correct. Number two, changes in a market cycle may be cyclical, one time only, blank, and blank. You said A, recurring and exponential, and that was incorrect. The correct answer was seasonal and exponential. Changes in a market cycle may be cyclical, one time only, seasonal, and exponential. Number three, long-term market cycles are, you said A, based on the prevailing interest rate, and that was incorrect. The correct answer, just like you thought, was C, caused by national or international conditions. God damn it. Long-term market cycles are caused by national or international conditions.